Om Jnana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurvavishta Safurikam Gurugana Shisha Samushitam Chinsha Samasta Vedanikanam Shirupa Pantanam Govinda Viramujvaram Varatam Rajamitam Sundaram Vande Vishwa Guruncha Divya Bhagavat Gita Chacharam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Valarka Chalanchitam Sanjananda Puram Sareka Varanam Vairagya Vijambudim Shri Siddhantamidam Subhakti Vasitam Sarasvatanambaram Vande Tam Shubharam Vareka Sharanam Yashishwaram Sridharam Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gauri Tusamniha Dayatam Suratopam Gori Mamamandama Tergati Matsarvasvaram Parambojo Shiradhamajana Shri Gaur Gandharva Govinda Gringanasa Vinde Prashadatoyisham Sarvaramba Shivankaraha. So today is a very, very important day for us, the appearance day of our Param Gurudeva from Vishnupada, Paramhamsa Parivajakacharya Vaya Ashtatar Shatashi Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Deva-Goswami Raj. And these great personalities and everything that is connected to them, that is also worshipable. So even this date, has become purified. This date has become exalted because of the connection of our Param Gurudeva. So just this period of time itself is worshipable. And what can we say? Our grandfather Guru, he's given everything to us. Our Gurudev, our Gurudev has given us our Param Gurudev, and our Param Gurudev has given us our Gurudev. There's this, wonderful exchange here. By the grace of Param Guru Maharaj, we have Gurudev, and by the grace of Gurudev, we have Param Guru Maharaj. And that connection with our Param Gurudev, it is something very, very sacred, something very special and very deep. Because the connection is spiritual, it is not dependent on any physical connection. And even though, at least myself, and maybe Chatu Samprabhu met Srila Sridhar Maharaj in person in Navadip.
I listened.
But even though we didn't get that direct meeting, it is a spiritual exchange. And that opportunity for a relationship, it is open for all, through our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva-Goswami Maharaj. Through his divine grace, it is possible. Srila Gurudev, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj also, they liked one comment of Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. He told his disciples at one time, I am when he was, before he left the world, that I am leaving, but your grandfather will take care of you. Your grandfather will take care of you. I am going, but your grandfather will take care of you. Logically, physically speaking, doesn't make any sense. But in terms of the spiritual transaction, the spiritual connection, exchange, it is possible. And Srila Gurudev, he liked to point this out, that Srila Sridhar Maharaj was our grandfather, and he liked to point out that the relationship between the grandfather and the grandchild, it is sweeter than the relationship between the father and the son. The father has to be more of the heavy one. The grandfather is more sweet and more, it is more of a sweet, gentle, loving relationship. And Srila Gurudev, he commented that actually your relationship is with your grandfather. And you know, if you get in trouble with your father sometimes, then you can go to your grandfather. Your grandfather will give you some sweets. You know. But he said, you know, your relationship's really with your grandfather, speaking to some of his disciples, and I'm just in the middle. I'm in the middle here, but really your relationship is with him. And this morning I was listening to a talk of Srila Gurudeva, and he actually gave it yesterday on the anniversary of his sannyas day, the day before Srila Sridhar Maharaj's Vyasa Puja, and he made this statement at that time, which you may have heard. It's well known. This like bold statement. He said, anybody who's taken initiation, this is like 2006 or something like that. Anybody who's taken initiation from me, they are already liberated. And he said, you know, how can I say such a thing? Because, and then he said, I know you're all doing some nonsense. I know that. But he said, Guru Maharaj is so great, you know, and that is nothing for Guru Maharaj. Maybe it will take a little time. There will be some interim period of purification. No, but you must get it because your grandfather is so great. So, by the grace of our Gurudev, we are fortunate to have this relationship with our grandfather, Sridhar Maharaj. And we were mentioning yesterday, actually we don't feel any deficiency, even though I never met Sridhar Maharaj in person, he, because of Gurudev, Sridhar Maharaj was living inside of Gurudev, and like really, and Gurudev would say sometimes, I have to consult with Guru Maharaj, like really, he was living with his Guru Maharaj, and so we didn't feel any deficiency. We really felt a relationship with Sridhar Maharaj through our Gurudev. Gurudev was always talking about Srila Sridhar Maharaj's teachings, Srila Sridhar Maharaj's pastimes, and everything that he did, everything that Srila Gurudev did was in the consciousness of service to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Everything that he did, it was an offering for Srila Sridhar. Gurudev did not take 1 inch of anything, 1 drop for himself. I was there one day in Calcutta, and it was on this day of Guru Purnima, which is in August usually, and it's a day traditionally when one will worship their Guru, right? And so I was there one year in Dum Dum Park when Srila Gurudev was there, and it would always be a big festival day. And Srila Gurudev would come down this is in a time when Srila Gurudev's health was not so strong, so he wouldn't always, be participating in the Nat Mandir, but on that day he would come, but it was this very interesting situation because for all of us and for everyone there, this was a day for us to worship Srila Gurudev. It's Guru Purnima, we want to worship our Guru, Srila Govinda Maharaj. But for Gurudev, he was not in the mood of accepting that at all. And he was in the mood of wanting to worship his Guru Maharaj. And so and this is something, I'm so grateful I was there at that moment. And I'll remember this to the day I die, that they were preparing to do Guru Puja. And so Gurudev is sitting in his chair. And then there's a big picture of Srila Sridhar Maharaj on the Vyasa-sam. And they have all this paraphernalia for Guru Puja. And then they're going to worship Gurudev with that, like they would on his Vyasa Puja. And Gurudev, like fire, I mean, he was angry. like fire, like he threw his arm like this, like pointing, like this worship is for Guru Maharaj. Like angry, like that, like this is for Guru, like he just absolutely refused, and that made such a strong impression on me, that it, just made it so clear that Gurudev was not taking anything for himself. Everything 100% that he did was for the glorification of, for the satisfaction of, his Guru Maharaj. And we are privileged, that we had some, we could come with on the outskirts of such a high degree of dedication. And people talk about, everybody in the Gaudiya arena, they can appreciate who Srila Sridhar Maharaj was. So many persons, they're secretly reading Srila Sridhar Maharaj's books and other missions. They've all got their copy of Shri Guru and His Grace, like in some hidden place. Everybody's reading these things, but without the connection of our Gurudev, without surrender to our Gurudev, they don't have anything. They have some conception. They have some wonderful conception, but that it's not going to be more than that. Without the substantial service connection of our Gurudev. Pushta Krishna Prabhu, who sadly left the world earlier this year. He was a very dear disciple of Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, and he also had great love for our Gurudev, and our Gurudev loved him very much. But he had many talks with Srila Gurudev, and he told how Srila Gurudev treated him like a friend, and he said that one thing Srila Gurudev told him. He said, many persons they came to Guru Maharaj to take something, and they put it in their pocket. But when they got home, they found their pocket was empty. And this knowledge, you see, like collecting something to hold on to, some knowledge. But actually, it vanishes in a puff of smoke. If there's not that, if you're not in that line of divine grace and in that line of divine service, then you don't actually have anything substantial. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he's given, his what he has given, it is unparalleled, within the line of the Gaudiya Siddhanta. What he has given is unparalleled. What he has given things that nobody else has given. Like that literally, has not been given before. His explanation of the Brahma Gayatri mantra, leading up to Radha Dasyam, his explanation of the Chatur Shloki and Bhagavad Gita, indicating Parakiya Madhura Ras, all of these things, Srila Sridhar Maharaj has mentioned, some indication was here, even his explanation of this phrase in the first verse of Shikshashtakam, Vidya Vidu Jivanam, indicating Madhura Ras, these things were not given before, and it was actually like something so something so profound and something so unrevealed that even others were like putting some doubts, like, are you sure it's okay? Not that they're doubting this is correct, but that to tell this to the public, this hasn't been given before, and this is so high, When he gave that explanation of the apichet sudara charo, that verse, and not the next one, kipram bhavati dharma ma shashvak shantim nigachati kunteya pratijani ame bhakta pranashyati. That normally that verse is read, O Arjuna, you declare to the world that my devotee is never vanquished. And so, but Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he points out that actually there's no question, and that very, my devotee will never be vanquished, he will very quickly be purified, right? Arjuna, you declare this to the world. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj points out in the verse before, it's already saying that this person is a sadhu. Although apparently they are appearing to be sudurachar, they're appearing to be a very wicked, very bad person. Sadur eva samantavya. We're already told you should consider this person to be saintly. You should consider them to be a sadhu. So then to say in the next verse that they will be purified, this is inconsistent. So therefore what's actually being said here is that if somebody can recognize that, if somebody can recognize that that person is saintly, despite their material defaults, because of that purity of their devotion, if somebody can recognize that and have the boldness to declare that, they will be purified. That's actually what's being said there. If one is able to overlook the objective and appreciate the subjective, and have the courage to pronounce that, they will be purified. We will, if we can appreciate that affinity for the nirgun plane that supersedes any quality of the sagun plane, then you will be purified if you can appreciate that. So Srila Maharaj, he gave this deeper explanation, and in particular, Gurudev mentioned Jajavar Maharaj. He was concerned, like, you can't publish this because everyone's going to take advantage of this. This gives a
free license.
Yeah, free license. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a Nanya Bak. You think I'm doing something wrong, but actually, I'm an exclusive devotee and I can do whatever I want. It doesn't affect my quality of being a Vaishnava. So Jajavar Maharaj, he actually like had some concern, and he expressed that to Srila Maharaj. How can you, people are going to jump all over this. But Srila Maharaj, he felt, and this was always Srila Maharaj's mood, like just to be truthful, not think of the consequences. The truth must come out, And Gurudev, even Gurudev, he was concerned with the Srila Maharaj giving the Brahma Gayatri explanation to to people who don't really know anything, like to new people, And Srila Maharaj giving this high explanation, are you sure, this is a pro, even Gurudev. And then it's funny because Gurudev was always on our side. Gurudev was always backing the underdog, And Srila Maharaj, he commented on that about Gurudev, why are you always like with them, Gurudev really had, Yudhamanya Prabhu told me, Gurudev mentioned that to him a few times, that I'm really attracted to people who struggle. People who struggle in spiritual life, like there's something more real there, Gurudev was attracted by that, like to the lower persons, to the struggling persons, So Gurudev had that appreciation for the the down and outers, we can say. But even Gurudev, he had some concern about Srila Maharaj, giving these high explanations, And he also expressed to Srila, are you sure this is appropriate, to tell this? And Srila Maharaj, he said, he meant 2 points I remember. He said that, it has not been given before, and it has to come out, and if I don't give it now, then in the future, who will give it? It has to come out. And also, that I have the inspiration in my heart to give that out now. And so that has to flow. That inspiration has to flow.
Wasn't that the purpose of Lord Chaitanya's mission, to help the fallen souls, not the wealthy and the beautiful and the successful? It was the fallen souls, huh?
The fallen souls, they will definitely attract a greater degree of mercy. That is true. It is the nature of mercy to be attractive. to the place of greatest necessity. Yes, that is true. And then also in Bhagavad Gita, Srila Maharshi, he explained the how does it go? The last of the chapter, the Satatam. How does it go?
Main verse.
Sorry, what did you say?
The main verse.
The main verse?
Or what's considered the Savadama Prityaga.
No, the chapter Shloki of Bhagavad Gita. How does it go? That's it, yeah. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena tam upayanti te. That to those persons who are always worshipping me with love, I will reveal myself to them. Nashayatmasto, but anyhow, Srila Maharaj points out that this word upayanti, it must be, it's because the Lord he's already talking about his fully surrendered souls. And so there's no question of him coming to remove their ignorance. They're already living on this, higher platform. So when he's saying here, revealing himself, he's indicating in this deeper way, in this word upayanti, referring to parakya ras. But anyhow, all of these, very, very high things, they have come from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And when we hear the way that Srila Sridhar Maharaj explains all of these things, and he brings them to life. It's not, and you can go and look up a dictionary meaning, or you can look in some other generic translation, and you'll never find that, the way that he explains. He explains things in a way that are both extremely profound, but also very striking to the heart. Very, they have this immediacy, that it's almost like this common sense, that's not the word I'm looking for, but I think you understand what I'm saying. He'll explain things in a way that just brings it home. That actually is relevant to my life, that makes sense to me. Like we were mentioning the other day, how Srila Maharshi, he said, divine means dedication. We use all these little fancy words, divine, transcendental. And what does it actually mean, in a way that we can understand? Divine means dedication. He said, at its root, that's what it means. That is the foundation of it. The more one is in the mood of dedication, the more they're entering that divine plane, and they are becoming of a divine nature. And so many explanations like that. Karma means self-assertion. That was just so profound for me. She gave the explanation. We bounce around all these terms, but then Srila will explain them in a way and say, yeah, that's so profound and so simple at the same time. That just makes perfect sense to me. Karma means self-assertion. That you are asserting yourself upon the environment. You are imposing yourself upon the environment. And so, because of that imposition, then there has to be some reaction. There must be some reactionary movement because of that. Bhakti, and this verse, Bhakti pareshanu bhavo viraktir anyacha chaisha chika eka kala prapadyamanasya yatha tushti pushti kudapayo nugasam. This verse, a famous verse in Bhagavatam, which Srila Gurudev has quoted many times. Srila Gurudev liked this verse very much. And also Srila Sridhar Maharaj has several times discussed it. But it's describing different the symptoms. It mentions 3 main symptoms as to which will indicate that one is making progress, that one is moving in the right direction, and it compares those 3 symptoms to one who is eating a good meal. That the 3 things that are bhakti. Parishanubhavo means some experience of the Lord. Then anyacha. What is it? I can't remember the Sanskrit. But becoming indifferent, becoming detached, detachment. So devotion, experience of the Lord, and detachment. These are the detachment from other things, non-Krishna. Those are the 3 symptoms of progress. And then in terms of eating a meal, it mentions devotion is compared to the pleasure that one feels when you're eating. The good taste. You're getting some pleasure. And then tushti, and then pushti, you're getting some strength, you're getting some nourishment, and that is compared to the having experience of the Lord. And then detachment from other things, that is compared to your hunger going. You're eating, and as you're eating, your hunger is going. This is a wonderful analogy. So, you read these verses and you think, oh, this is all very nice. But, in terms of, how do you actually, translate that? Not just something that's, really high in the sky, I'm not going to say, oh, I have more bhakti. I'm not going to say I have experience of the Lord. What is that actually, for me, here and now, how does that translate in terms of my practicing life, So there's one place where Srila Sridhar Maharaj is discussing this verse, and so he just like always just draws out the inner meaning, the applicable meaning, and so devotion, he equates that with the spirit of dedication, that how much is that growing within me, the spirit of dedication, of self-giving, of self-sacrifice, how much is that growing within me, and how much is it going down within me? And that's something we can all do, here and now. Just look at ourselves. How much desire do I have? Maybe I'm not able to do that much, but do I have enthusiasm? If somebody tells me, we're going to have a kirtan, do you want to come? Yeah, I'm fired up. That's a good symptom. We're gonna talk about Krishna. We're gonna talk about Gurudev. We're gonna talk about Mahaprabhu. Yes, count me in. There's some seva that needs to be done. Yes, there are some pots that need to be washed. Hallelujah. So we can look in a practical way. Okay, I'm not up in flying in Vaikuntha and Goloka Vrindavan. But where I am here and now, I'm feeling some enthusiasm to engage in devotional life, to engage in some seva. And then parishanubhavo, experience of the Lord. Also what does that mean? How can I say I have experience of the Lord in my life? This is not on my level at all, unless we want to delude ourselves. That's another story. But so Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he explained that as our conception developing. Our conception of Krishna consciousness on day 1 and our conception of Krishna consciousness 10 years later, they should be 2 different things. They should not be one and the same. Unfortunately, that happens. It should not be like that. We should be making progress. Our understanding of who is Krishna, who is Gurudev, who is Mahaprabhu, Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya Prayojan, what is the path, how to properly practice. Our understanding and application of all of these things, they should be developing. We don't want to be in kindergarten forever. So our understanding, and that necessitates sadhu sangha. And not having that growth of understanding is just a symptom of a lack of sadhu sangha. So we need to have that sadhu sangha. So our conception, our understanding, it should be developing. That was how Srila explained it. Who is Krishna? What is Krishna? Who are we? How do we properly approach? This should all be developing our conception of all of these things. And then if we're making progress also, then our detachment, that's an easier one to relate to ourselves. We should see that some detachment is naturally, not that we're forcing that, we shouldn't need to force it too much, but as a result of our positive engagement and positive aspiration, then our lack of interest, our detachment from everything else, that will naturally be growing within us. We may not be able to give those things up, but our at least our distaste will be growing, will be developing. And eventually, we will become free of those things. Srila Maharaj also explains those verses in Bhagavatam, Jato, Shraddha, Matkatasu, Nirvina, Sarva Karmasu. Wonderful, important verses describing this process, the struggling practitioner. Gradually becoming free of these lower things, and diving deeper into seva, into devotional practice, and by the grace of the Lord, eventually becoming free. And then vidyate hridaya grantis chidyante sarva samshaya kiyante chashakarmani mayi drishte kilatmani. Then in the final stage, that hridaya granti, those knots on the heart, they will be slashed. And Srila Maharaj also discusses this so nicely, that like how these knots, they represent all of our this knot on the heart represents all of our material attachments, our material conceptions, and he says, unloosen, that wonderful expression, unloosen all of these things. We don't need them. And Gurudev, he said when Srila Maharaj, he would tell that verse, he felt it like in this very, vidyate hridaya grantis, the knot on the heart will be pierced. Srila Gurudev said that he felt it like with this power entering his heart, and actually activating, coming alive, and that was actually happening, that knot in his humility, Guru's especially, that knot on the heart, and his heart, it was being pierced by Srila Maharaj's vibration of that, that the relationship that they have, Srila Gurudev and Srila Maharaj, it is, it's their relationship, but it's also there's this Leela there, which is demonstrating to the world, what is the guru-disciple relationship? Because it's so outstanding, it's so striking, the relationship that they had. And the example that, Srila Maharaj showed the example of the perfect guru, and Srila Gurudev showed the example of the perfect disciple. And he showed how to really get the grace of guru, what is really the proper channel. Gurudev demonstrated that to us in a very clear way. I was thinking how Gurudev, he would talk about Srila Sridhar Maharaj is throwing power, and how Srila Sridhar Maharaj would make these impressions on his heart. And Gurudev demonstrated, like, how is that possible, like, to receive that? Tad vidi pranipatena pariprashena sevya uparakshkanti teganam yanina tattvadarshina. Like through sevaya, through the mood of seva, one can actually receive that flow, of divine knowledge. And I was thinking of this example, how Srila Gurudev, he liked these verses of Srila Rupa Goswami, the Chaitanya. There were like 2 or 3 Chaitanyashtakams. But there was one that Srila Gurudev we heard him chant a few times. And extremely beautiful, describing Mahaprabhu's associates, and Mahaprabhu's Leela, and Kirtan, and his pastimes in Puri. And what is the last line? Very poignant. The last line I can't remember the Sanskrit, but saying, when will that Lord Chaitanya Dev, appear before me again? When will he come before my eyes again? But Gurudev knew all these verses by heart, and he was chanting. Of course, Gurudev knew hundreds, and Gurudev knew thousands. Let's just face it, he knew thousands of verses by heart. He knew so much, by memory. But Gurudev, he was chanting these verses one day, and Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj was there, and he asked Gurudev, well, when did you memorize those verses? And Gurudev said, oh no, I never memorized them. And Goswami Maharaj said, well, how did you learn them? And he said, because Guru Maharaj, when he was bathing every day, I would be around him, like assisting him, and he would always chant these verses of Srila Rupa Goswami in praise of Mahaprabhu. And so, like, I'm there engaging in his seva, and he's chanting these verses, and it entered my heart. And that, like these little exchanges between Srila Gurudev and Srila Sridhar Maharaj, like, there's so much siddhanta behind that. Like, there's so much behind it. Like, that is the process. You serve Guru, you surrender to Guru, and then the transmission of divine knowledge takes place. Srila Gurudev, when he first came to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, what was the first thing Srila Sridhar Maharaj asked him? Can you follow me and not follow your mind? Like this is Leela. This is it. This is Veda. Like this exchange between them. There's so much siddhanta. Like, this is living siddhanta. It's like there. Can you listen to me and not follow your mind? This is it. This is the process of surrender. The beginning this is the beginning of Bhagavat Gita. Arjuna says everything that he's thinking, and then he tells Krishna, you know what, Krishna, I don't know what to think. What do you think? Shishyashteham shadi tamam prapanam. I'm your surrendered disciple. I will follow what you say. I'm setting aside everything that I know, and in this empty way, I'm standing before you to receive what you want to tell me. Jnane prayasham rupasya namanta eva. So it's so extraordinary, There, as we mentioned yesterday, even Gurudev, he marveled himself at this relationship that they had. From Gurudev's angle, he would say, like, how much mercy, Guru Maharaj showed to me, But then also from our side, we can say, like, what a perfect disciple Gurudev was, Like the whole thing, like perfectly, how much a disciple can give themselves to their Guru. And like Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he expressed that about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in regards to his devotion for Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that Saraswati Thakur, he showed how much earnestness one can have for Guru. Saraswati Thakur showed that, like how much it is possible to have earnestness for one's Guru. But Gurudev also showed that in a very demonstrable way. How much it is, like, in everything, at every point, Gurudev was always talking about him, was always thinking about him, was always doing for his satisfaction. And then on the other side, Srila Sridhar Maharaj showed how much it is possible for a Guru to love their disciple. How much it is possible for a Guru to give their mercy to their, in such an extreme way, that an unprecedented way, really. You know, wanting to like establish him as the Acharya in his own time, 30 years before, you know, before he leaves the world. I mean, you know, you don't hear about this all the time. You know, these are like, this is like something very, very rare, very outstanding. And you know, we're on the outskirts, on the vicinity of this, like some like witnesses of some kind. And fortunate to have some glimpse, to have some peep into that higher plane. But you know, it's also like this beautiful like advertisement also. Like, come and dive in, like how sweet it is. And it's not that because they're not physically here that their mercy is not available, their love is not available. You know, they have their ways. You know, they have their ways, and they are not constrained by the limitation of time, place, and circumstance. You come, you dive in, you try to give yourself to this, and you will reap the rewards of that. You know, you will see what comes as a result of that. I don't want to say too much, and we would like to hear something from others. Anyone else want to say anything? I'll listen there for you to say something.
I feel unnecessary to speak more other than just to seek the blessings of the Vaishnavas and you know, be reminded that we have so much grace given already that we can draw upon to you know, make an effort in our own lives and devotional practice, and you know, seek the blessings of God brothers, God sisters. Try to imbibe some of those examples you illustrated, those perfect examples of you know, the disciple and the Guru living for each other, and somehow we can I mean, maybe we can't even do anything, but we can at least worship that, at least honour that.
Yeah.
And if anything, it can give us some more encouragement and strength to practice. You know?
Yeah.
So on this day, I beg for my Guru Maharaj's mercy that I can in some way practice some Krishna consciousness to make him happy, give him some feeling.
Jai Shri Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Deva-Goswami ki Jai Shri Abhirbhav Mahamahotsav Bhatiki ki Jai Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva-Goswami ki Jai, all of their faithful followers ki Jai, their divine mission ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai.
Haribol.